I'm Albin Chanov, a research engineer at César Research Institute in France. Long-term consequences scales are a valuable tool for evaluating the impacts of road traffic crashes, with consequences extend far beyond the immediate accidents and injuries. Traditionally, road safety has been assessed by counting the number of accidents, of injuries, and of fatalities. However, long-term consequences scales take into account multiple health dimensions and allow for a more comprehensive evaluation of the long-term burden. And they're really a complementary metric to monitor road safety. Long-term consequences scales take into account multiple health dimensions, such as the injuries themselves, but also pain, mobility, and anxiety, for example, in order to capture the impact on an individual's quality of life. And therefore, they provide an evaluation on the physical, psychological, social, and economic effects of road traffic crashes. Nowadays, long-term consequences scales are used at an individual level, for example, by medical teams to follow up on a patient health status, and then less frequently to monitor road safety at local and global levels.
I am Francisco López Valdés. I'm Associate Professor at Universidad Pontificia Comillas in Madrid. The difference between an immediate injury scale and a long-term consequence scale, like the ones we are developing here in IMPROVA, is that in the field we see injuries that can be a really important threat to your life, posing a high risk of dying out of that injury. But if you recover from them, your life will go back to normal. On the other hand, there are injuries that are not really a threat to your life, but you will suffer from consequences from those injuries for the rest of your life. The best example can be probably whiplash injuries that are very frequent in car crashes. We are discovering in IMPROVA that finding a scale that can combine both things is really challenging, but we are excited about using all the information we have from our databases, the outcome of the reviews we are doing, and also the development of new methods within IMPROVA to be able to propose something that can address at the same time immediate threat to life and long-term consequences. Well, within IMPROVA, we have conducted already a systematic review of the literature to understand which are the existing scales addressing long-term consequences of motor vehicle crashes. For instance, we are trying to understand which of these scales can be applied to understand, again, the long-term consequences of individual injuries, not for the whole quality of life of a person. Also, which scales can be used to understand the long-term consequences of psychological effects from motor vehicle crashes, and then how to combine both. One exciting thing is that we'll be making use of technologies and the possibility of reaching out to people from all over the world through social media to conduct a new survey that will allow us to estimate again disability weights that are used not only, or will be used hopefully, not only within IMPROVA, but within organizations like WHO or the World Bank to estimate the burden of injuries and psychological consequences of motor vehicle crashes.